Hey, hope we're all good. I've just got back from the gym. About 40 minutes ago. Yogurt bowl done. Got back to a few people that I need to get back to, and now I'm here. I'm only going to actually be on for about 45 minutes this morning. It's checking day. It's manic checking day, and I need to get my head stuck into those because I've got to go out for it. I need to go get my hair cut this afternoon, and I've got a couple of errands and a few other bits and pieces to run. So, we're just going to be on for 45 minutes, and then I'm going to get my head stuck into checking for a few hours, go out and do my bits, and then I'll be working tonight. If you don't get your check-in responses till later on this evening, please don't panic. If you've sent it and you've got 2 grey ticks, I've got it. I will action it. And if you check in on a Friday, unless you check in at like 5, 6 o'clock tonight, but if you've checked in before lunchtime on a Friday, I'll always do your check-in on a Friday. It'll always be done for you. Anyway, there we go. How is everyone on this wonderful, I'm going to say wonderful Friday. It is a wonderful Friday. Just because it's dry. That'll do me. I don't need any more than that. Does anyone else need any more than that? If it's dry, I'm a happy chap. That is more, and I mean it, that is more than enough for me. As long as it's dry. I am not a fussy person at all. Yeah, I just want it to be dry. Yeah, that's it basically. Anyway, it is the end for the majority of people. The end of the working week. We are fastly approaching the weekend. Always that bit of a turbulent time. The weekend it can be a little bit of a turbulent time for the old weight loss. It will be for me this weekend. I've got a bit of not a night out. I don't know how to describe. Well, do you know what? I'll tell you why I don't know how to describe it. I have no idea what is going on. If I'm being honest with you, this weekend, I generally don't. So we've got Rachel's cousin and a fella and kids are coming up for tea tomorrow night. But we don't actually know yet we don't know if they're coming up in the afternoon. We don't know if the plan was to go for a bit of a walk, I think, and then go to the pub and then go out for some tea. But Andrew's playing rugby tomorrow, and he thought the game was a little bit earlier because the night, obviously it's going dark now at like 4 o'clock. So, and the pitches aren't floodlit, so they tend to play a little bit earlier. Anyway, he's just said he thinks it's going to be a 2 o'clock kickoff, so they're not going to get done till 4. But he's trying to arrange his games because one of his teams that he plays for is actually playing over our way. Anyway, you don't need to know that. So I don't actually know what's going on tomorrow. So I don't know if it's just going to be going out for a bit of tea, and I'm going to have a couple of beers. I fancy a couple of beers. I've not had a beer for a month. Since I've got back from holiday, I've been absolutely on it. So I don't really know what the deal is tomorrow. So it's just gonna be a little bit of a bit of a suck it and see, as it were, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's do a top 5 on TikTok. Let's see who's in this morning. Calum's in at number 1, Lou's in at number 2, Sheila's in at number 3, Caroline is in at number 4, and Mr. Andrew Foster is in at number 5. Good morning, guys. Thank you very much for jumping straight on the live. Leanne, I'm cold and it's wet in Cornwall. Other than that, good. Almost back into routine after holidays. Brilliant, Leanne. Morning, mate. Decent check-in for me post-holiday. All eyes on Sunderland taking 3 points off Arsenal tomorrow. Yeah, I'll have that. I'll be a Sunderland fan tomorrow. 100%. Go on, Chris. I've got a few Sunderland fans that follow me or are on plan with me or something like that. I've got a lot of Northeastians. Is that even a word? Is that even how to describe people from the Northeast? I'm just going to brand them because I always upset someone. You know, if I call someone a Geordie and they're a Mackham, then they don't like me. And then you've obviously got like Middlesbrough. And for us, not Northeasterners, the accents, they do merge a little bit. You know, they do merge a bit. You might be like, no way, no one from Sunderland sounds like someone from Newcastle. They do to us, right? They do to us. Just like you get round here. Well, especially if you go a bit south from where I am, you've obviously got Liverpool, Scousers. And then we have what I call plastic Scousers, which is all the areas around Liverpool. I'm not doing that as a derogatory term. I just call them So they've got like a Liverpool Scousey twang accent, but you got Birkenhead, St Helens, Southport, Runcorn. They've all got a bit of a Scouse twang, but they're not Scousers, right? Iconoplasty. If that's a derogatory term, I apologise, but that's what I call them. And for us, it sounds totally different. But from people down south or something, they might be like, no, they're Scousers. There you go. There we go. We talked about accents. Why not? Why not? Right, let me scan up. Jackie's in. Good morning. Regan's in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Who else is in this morning? Worked 12 hours yesterday. Got a pizza on the way home. First time my eyes went bigger than my belly, but I didn't overorder. Eyes went bigger than your belly, but you didn't overorder. Like, is that what you're trying to say? Like, you were definitely, definitely. What's it? You definitely mean you could have overordered, but you didn't, or did you not overeat, or did you overorder and you didn't overeat? Regan, tell me. At Wolves, we call them. Is that what, like Wolves? Right, okay. Oh yeah, because you're Warrington. Say that, Lewis. What's a Warrington accent? I know I've met you, Callum. So, but I wouldn't say you had an accent. If that makes sense. Like, what is a Warrington accent? Because you're like slap bang in the middle of Manchester and Liverpool. Really, not slap bang. But do you know what I mean? I don't know. Does Warrington have an accent? I don't know. Anyway, there we go. Let me scan up and see what anything else I've missed. I don't think I've missed. Anyway, we've discussed accent. Yeah, I was trained, but didn't overorder and didn't overeat. All right, perfect. So you got in there and you were like, I could eat the world, but you kept it under control. And do you know what? I've been there, and it is so hard to do. That is hard to do, especially with a takeaway. The amount of times I'm like, right, I'm just going to go to Mackey's and I'm going to get a chicken sandwich meal, medium, Pepsi Max, and then a cheeseburger on the side, which is under 1,000 calories, and he's quite, you can fit it in. Or sometimes we'll do what we call a midweek McDonald's, where I'll get a wrap of the day, right? And then I might just get a few extra nuggets or 3 chicken selects on the side as well, which comes in at about 800 calories. And I've turned up and I'm like, ding. There's nothing worse. Ordering food when you're hungry, going shopping when you're hungry. Honestly, nothing worse. I don't know. I just fancied a little cheeky 7-Up. I don't know. I just fancied something a little bit fizzy and a little bit sweet. I'm into 7-Up at the moment. Well, I've got no choice. I bought a crate of it. But it's, I just fancied one this morning. I'd say it's a mix between Manchester and Liverpool accent. Some sound Scouse and some. Yeah, I was going to say it's a weird one. It is a weird one. It is. It's like I wouldn't. If anyone said what's a Warrington accent, I'd be like, I don't know, because sometimes you do get people that are like, they've got a Manc twang, and then suddenly they go a little bit like you get that kind of crossover. Because it's Liverpool to Manchester is literally, considering the accents are so different, they're literally half an hour apart. M62. Half an hour apart. We never think we've got an accent. I don't think I've got an accent. I know I have, but I wouldn't even know what my accent, what you would describe my, because I'm from Blackpool. I've never lived in Blackpool. I've always lived in the village that I live in now from the day I was born. But I'm sort of slap bang in the middle of Preston, Blackpool. And Preston, I don't think Blackpool's got a distinct accent, but Preston has. Preston's got a really distinct accent. So yeah, I don't know what my I couldn't even tell you. Nicola on YouTube, I'm a proper Scouser. Nick is a proper chicken. Go and get some chicken. That's that being our Nicola then. That's what I'm guessing. It's the only thing I can do is Scouse. I'm not pushing it any more than that. All right. Anyone can say chicken in Scouse, Just like anyone can say bacon in Jamaican. Just say beer can. Right. So you need to say beer can. Right. And you've got it. You're in. Dead easy. Anyway, here we go. Have we done accents now? We've done accents now. Anyway, there we go. I like Manc accent, I would say. What, me? Would you say so? I don't know. You think that, and then if Rachel was here, saying that though, Rachel's like, she's lived here for 10 years now, and it's really funny when we go back like to Rachel and she starts chatting with her family, her Manc accent comes right back. Absolutely right back. And then she will talk sometimes to people. Obviously, I've lived with Rachel 10 years, so I'm like, I've been with Rachel 10 years, but then sometimes people are like, you've got such a strong Manc accent. And I don't think she has. I don't think she has. But anyway, there we go. I love accents. I do. I find them interesting. Anyway, there we go. We've discussed them. So it is Fri-Weigh, which is weighing day for the majority of my clients. I always call this manic weighing day. I've just looked at my WhatsApp. It's actually not. I think the tides are turning, and it does happen. Yeah, I think the tides are turning. This week is very busy for the Boss Your Weight Loss Challenge, and it is check-in 4. OMG. If you're a challenge check-inner today, you've got 2 left, and then it's done. How fast does time go when we do the challenge? Honestly. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's 18 of you guys in the challenge that check in on this round. And then next week, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So there's 18 on this round and 11 on next round. So there's still 29 of you guys in the challenge. And we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've had 6 people depart the challenge. Some people do, they pull out or they don't, or they miss a check-in, and then you miss a check-in. I'm sorry. So if you miss a check-in, you're out. That's actually not an official rule, but generally, if someone misses 1 check-in, they're gone. Anyway, so I've got a lot of challenge check-ins to do this check-in week, but the standard check-ins are fairly, fairly straightforward, really. Challenge is fine by definitely feeling the challenge, though. Yeah, absolutely. I've had a couple of people message me this week and they're like, "Oh, I'm really going to struggle to hit my step target this challenge check." And I'm like, "Yeah, you should do. It's a challenge. It's got to be tough. It's not meant to be easy. It's not meant to be something that you can just box off." And anyone now, this is check-in 4. So anyone that I'm looking at now that's checked in this week and they've just blitzed their steps, I'm going to ramp it up for the last 2. Right? If I've set your steps at 9,000, which means you have to do 10.5 to get full points, right? And you've been at 11 for the last 4, 11, 12. You've just like that, right? I'm gonna push you a little bit. I am. That's what the challenge is all about. You've got to be pushing yourself. It's very rare we'll push ourselves out of our comfort zone. The challenge is meant to take you a little bit out of your comfort zone. And it shouldn't be easy. It should be a challenge. It shouldn't be stupidly difficult, right? It's about finding that balance, Liz, good morning. Anna, good morning. Everyone, good morning. Anna, I hope you're good. So it is check-in day. It's also been my check-in this morning. So at the beginning of October, 2nd of October to the 9th of October, I went to Mexico for a week. And I did not. And I flew back on the 9th. I landed in this country on the 10th. Didn't track a calorie on the 10th or the 11th or the 12th. So I didn't track a single calorie from the 2nd of October till the 13th of October. I had 11 days off. The day I landed, the 10th of October, should have been my check-in day. But because I wasn't here, I decided not to do it. And I thought I'll leave it 2 weeks. So I checked in 2 weeks ago and I was 3.8 pounds up on my pre-holiday weight and 4.3 pounds up from the lightest I have been this year. My mission is to finish at Christmas the same weight as I was when I went to Benidorm, which is the lightest I've been this year. It's me 3 stone down, right? And that was it. So basically, from 2 weeks ago, which was when was that? Let me have a look. So for 2 weeks ago, which was the 24th of October, I've got from the 24th of October up until the 19th of December, which is my last weigh day, my last check-in of the year. I've got to lose 4.3 pounds in that time. So I'm weighing this morning and I'm 5.2 down. So not only the 4.3 that I want to lose by Christmas has gone, also another 0.9 of a pound. So I've lost 5.2 pounds in the last 2 weeks. The deficit I've been under my ideal deficit the last 2 weeks, which means I will have lost 4 pounds in body fat. and probably 1.2 pounds of water weight, food weight. So it's probably a little. I don't feel when I weighed 2 weeks ago there was any water retention or any bloating or anything like that. I feel like all my water, food weight from holiday had gone. So this weighing could be a little bit of a false positive. Sometimes we can just hit the scales at the right time. You know, sometimes we can just get on those scales and they just, we just hit those scales at the right time. So there could be a little bit of a false positive involved. But your weight's your weight. When you get on a set of scales, whatever you're weighing at that time, that is currently what your weight is. So that is being logged. So yeah, I'm 0.9. I'm nearly a pound under my Christmas target. So I'm buzzing, absolutely well chuffed, because it means I don't need to be like, I say I don't need to be. You know, I do set myself targets, and sometimes when we're getting close, like to time frames and stuff, but you know, does that mean, oh, I'll just maintain for the rest of the year? No. You know, Christmas is a calorific time. The next few weeks are going to be a calorific time. What is it? What did I do? I did a weight loss coaching live for my community yesterday about navigating through to Christmas. And, you know, I've sort of got 3 weeks. So it's about 7, I think there's 7 full weeks left until Christmas. Or 6 maybe. Let's have a little look after this week. So we are, I'm not going to count this week. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's 1. I'm in 2024. That ain't helping anyone. I was like, Christmas Day started on Wednesday this year. Right, we're now not counting this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. So we've got 6 full weeks now till Christmas after this week. Forget this week. So I have got next week's a quiet week. Right? I think I was confusing people. I was certainly confusing Paul yesterday in the live because I read some of the comments back. So I was sort of told yesterday that I have weekend on, weekend off. And that weekends on are when I'm calorific. Weekends off are where I don't need to be calorific. So I was sort of saying I've got week on, week off, week on, week off. But basically, I have got, I'll just call it this. The next week's a quiet week. Week after is a busy week. Busy week means socially busy. And that's generally the only time that I'm ever going to need more calories or not stick to my calories. Because if I'm socially busy, I go on holiday. So next week, this week, socially busy at the weekend. I'm never socially busy during the week. I'm a hermit. Next week, quiet. Week after, socially busy. Week after that, quiet. Week after that, socially busy. I might have got that wrong. Quiet, then socially busy. Yeah, it works out like 7 weeks. So take out this week. I've got 3 quieter weeks and 3 busier weeks, socially busy weeks. So I don't want to take my eye off the prize. I'm still going to try and stick to a calorie deficit every single week from now up until Christmas. Because, you know, Christmas is calorific. Last year, I gained 12 pounds over Christmas. I actually gained about 18 pounds over Christmas. I weighed myself on New Year's Day. But again, I just said there about false negative, false positive. Sometimes we can just hit the scales at the wrong time. I remember it now. Last Christmas, I was quite poorly. I had I don't know if it was just a bit of a stomach bug. And I never get stomach bugs or anything like that. But yeah, I had a bit of a stomach bug. I wasn't feeling 100%. And I don't know if I just pushed things a little bit with my eating or I just eaten something a little bit dodgy. I can't actually. I went out actually, or it could have just been a self-inflicted thing because I went out on the 29th, I think it was. It was a Sunday with a load of mates, and I got like plastered. So code red hangover. I've not had a code red this year. I've not had actually. I don't think I've had a hangover this year. I generally don't. I generally don't think I've had a hangover this year. Maybe. We went to Fuengirola. In this country, I've not. In this country, I've not. I'll say that. We went to Fuengirola in May for a mate's 40th, and the first morning after the travel day, yeah, I got absolutely white girl wasted on the travel day. And the first morning, I was rough. So that was it wasn't a code. Well, it probably would have been a code red here. When you're on holiday, it was go for a walk, get a beer down, you stop being so soft, and then I sort of come round a little bit. But yeah, I don't think I have. But anyway, I co-redded it. So the 30th, I co-redded, and I don't know if it was just a 4-day hangover, but I worked great. 30th, 31st, and I weighed myself on the 1st of January because I was starting back tracking then. Yeah, and I was 18 pounds up, but I was like a balloon. And I said to Rachel, I said, what is going on? I'm like, my stomach was so swollen. To the point where I didn't tell Rachel this. I was a little bit worried. I was like, what is going on here? If this is still the same tomorrow, I went to doctors. Anyway, next day I woke up and it wasn't. And I got on the scales and I dropped like 6 or 7 pounds, something like that. 6 pounds. I went from 18 stone. I went from 18 pounds up to 12 pounds up. So I think that was more a real representation. So I was 12 pounds up over Christmas, not body fat, because within a couple of weeks that had all gone, plus another little bit. But you do gain some body fat over Christmas. Probably for me, 6 or 7 pounds, probably half a stone. So really, now in my head, I'm like, do I change my target? Would I like to be the same way I am now coming out of Christmas? That'll mean losing what I would gain over Christmas, which will probably be, I'm talking fat. I'm not talking food weight, water weight. So that'll probably mean 6 or 7 pounds over the next 6-7 weeks. I'm not doing it. I'm happy. I've hit my target. My goal now is to keep tracking. Anything I lose from now until it's just a bonus. It's just a bonus. Yeah. And then in the new year, I'm going weight loss again. I am. I've decided the lowest I've ever been is 16.5 stone. And I'm about a stone away from that now. I'm like under 18 stone now. I might not look it, but I've got a hell of a lot of loose skin, which always makes me look a bit bigger than what I actually am, certainly around my hips area and my back. So I'm under 18. So the lightest I've ever been is about, I think, 16 pounds less than what I am now today. So that's when I was a personal trainer. I want to blitz that. I want to prove to myself that I can be that weight and not be a full-time personal trainer. So that's my New Year mission. Then I am going to go into maintenance. If I can get to 16 stone at 6'5", that's me. I'm not. I'm just going to go into maintenance then. There we go. That's my plan for the next however many months. Kelly, good morning. It's always good to have a plan. It's always good to have a plan. Morning, Friday already. Yeah, absolutely love it. I'm really looking forward to this weekend, actually. I'm ready for it. It's been a bit of a stressful week this week. Smashed it. Cheers, Callum. Don't say that. I've pushed myself a lot this week with steps. Don't increase them too much. No, no offense, Callum, but you're not someone that's absolutely smashed it from the you've done well and you've got your points and you've hit your targets. I'm not saying that, but I'm talking, I do get some people that pre-challenge, and I base step targets off sort of pre-challenge because, so I do get some people that like they just hover around 7,000 steps and they don't push themselves anymore. So I sort of start them at 8,000, and then next thing they do the challenge and they're doing 12,000. I'm like, all right, okay, all right. If that's where you want to play it, I can push you a bit more than that. That's what the challenge is meant to do. It's meant to push you a little bit, but in a healthy, sustainable fashion. I'll never make anyone do, and some people do a lot. I've got people that have come into the challenge that were averaging just naturally 14,000, 15,000 steps a day. So I've got to ramp them up a little bit. I've got to try and push you a little bit. Anyway, there we go. Callum switched onto YouTube now. I'm looking forward to Christmas this year to enjoy my food. I was a bit reserved with it last year since I had only recently joined the plan, but this year I'm ready for it. Callum, you were actually. Callum was a client last year, and we hadn't been working together that long, to be honest with you. And Callum come on board. He actually committed to a year. By the way, guys, any of you guys that did the Black Friday offer last year, I'll probably get in touch with you today. Certainly you guys that are checking in with the link to sign up again. If you can't sign up now, don't worry about it. The offer will run, but I've not done a Black Friday offer yet. I possibly will be doing. I haven't decided, actually. I did quite a good offer over the summer and had a lot of people sign up. And I don't know whether to just do a Black Friday offer on a yearly sign up this year. I haven't decided. Bear with me. But I'm not going to. Last year, I run a Black Friday offer for the whole of November. It will just be, I think Black Friday is like the 28th of November this year. So I might do it for maybe do something next week, or maybe, just the last week of November. My last start date to come on my one-to-one plan is, I've got 2 start dates left. That's it. 17th and the 24th. Right. After that, anyone that signs up after the 24th. So if I do a Black Friday deal at the end of November, you'll start in January. You will start in January. But what I'll probably do is, like, if I do a yearly offer for the last week of November, I'll give you 13 months for the price of 12 with a discount as well. But anyway, you guys that signed up last year for the Black Friday offer, if you want the same deal, I will match the price. There'll be no increase in price. I'm going to send you a link today. It's up to you when you pay. You just need to pay it before the end of November, basically. After that, when your deal runs out, I'll still do you a bit of a deal, but it won't be as good as what the one is at the moment. The Black Friday 12-month sign-ups is called Pay Neil's Tax Bill. That's basically it. Got my personal tax bill in January, as I am self-employed, and that is basically what the 12 months offer is. It's Pay Neil's tax bill. So anyway, I will. I'll ping that link out today. There we go. I can't believe it. Honestly, I started doing Christmas content in my community yesterday to help you guys navigate through to Christmas. And it is just, when you start thinking about the days and the numbers and stuff like that, it will go so quickly. It genuinely will. And I never want to waste time away. And I absolutely love Christmas, but we do need to plan a little bit more. We do need to try and navigate through to Christmas the best we can. We honestly do. You know, too many of us over the years, we've got to this time of year and we've got a lot on and it gets a little bit overwhelming. And we do the old effort. It's Christmas. I'll be back in January. The issue with doing that is you'll do it throughout the year. You know, you won't be doing too good. You might not be doing too good around early March time, and then you've got Easter, and you're just like, oh well, Easter. It's kids' holidays. We're going away for a week. We're doing this. I'll start back after Easter, and then you might start back after Easter, but then next thing you're like, things don't quite go to plan, and then you've got a week to Tenerife due. Like, oh, I'll start back after that. Now it's kids' summer holidays. That's a bit. How many times are you going to say I'll start in a couple of months? How many times have you done that this year? And you still sat there the same way, still unhappy, not made any progress. So, and like I said in that live yesterday that I did for my community, you can fully enjoy yourself. I worked out a couple. I'll do it again now. So, as I've weighed today. So we are on, what's the date today? The 7th of November. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 sevens, 49, 50, 51, 52. And then I've not counted this week's 52, 50. We've got 54 days until the end of the year, right? So there's 365 in a year. Minus 54. So we are 311 days into 2025, right? I've not done any maintenance weeks or anything this year. I've had the odd week where I've been a little bit above my ideal deficit, but I've mainly done surplus weeks or days, basically where I've just not tracked calories, right? And they're not necessarily a surplus, but I just call them a surplus because I don't know. I can't answer because I've not tracked. You can't answer any questions if you don't know how many calories you've consumed. So we worked this out. I did, I'm going to say 8 days for Egypt because I think I tracked straight when I got back from it on the Friday. So I did 8 days when we went to Egypt, right? In March. I went to Fuengirola for a mate's 50th in May, and I did 6 days. This is not tracking. I did 9 days in June when we went to Benidorm. I did 6 days in September when we went to Benidorm, and I've done 11 days when we went to Mexico in October. So I've done 20, 32, 40, right? So I've done 40 days where I've not tracked a single calorie. And there is a very, very good chance on all of those 40 days, I've eaten in some sort of surplus and I've gained body fat, right? So 40 divided by 311, right, is 88, right? So I have spent 88% so far of 2025 in a calorie deficit, and I've spent 12% in a calorie surplus, and I'm over 3 stone down, right? Just over, I think, just over 3 stone down. You don't need to be perfect to have a successful weight loss journey. If I tried to be in a calorie deficit every day from the start of this year to now, I would have been less consistent than what I have been. Because when we try to, you shouldn't try and put yourself into a calorie deficit more than 12 weeks in a row, 13 weeks in a row. Not because your body adapts to weight loss and all this nonsense that a lot of people come out with. But the issue with putting yourself into a calorie deficit and for too long is it's just a bit restrictive. Even if you're doing it healthy and sustainably, you need a break. You need a break from what you do every single day. That's why we have annual leave. Like, how would you be, how productive or how would your brain be right about now if, and some of you might be like this, right? So we're 311 days in to 2025. How many of you on this haven't had annual leave this year? You've not had a break. You've not had a holiday, right? And if you hadn't have had a holiday, how do you think you'd feel now? Like, just like my head gets melted after about 12, 14 weeks of work, right? It really does. It's just I need to switch it off for a little bit. And how do I switch it off? I go on holiday. Now, my next holiday is Christmas. I'm not going away or anything. I'm just taking a break. And I'm taking 2 weeks off. I've just decided. Like, I'm not taking 2 weeks off from calorie counting or tracking. I'm going to step back from work for 2 weeks. It's final check-in day on the 19th of December. What normally happens that week is a lot of people start checking in from the 17th on the Wednesday, the 18th, and the Friday. I'm still working a bit on the Saturday as normal. And then so you can check in. But from 12 p.m. on the Saturday, I'm done pretty much until the 5th of January. That's when I'll be back, right? Now, on the Monday and the Tuesday of Christmas week, Rachel's in work. So I'll probably do a live here and there on here and just say hello. But I'm not really going to be talking about weight loss. I'll just be having a natter and coming and saying hello. So, but yeah, we don't need to be perfect on this journey. We really, really don't, right? And trying to be perfect, just you're setting yourself up for a fail. You're setting yourself up for a fail. And some of you guys might be like, well, I've been in a calorie deficit all year. I've not been in one. I bet your weight loss has slowed down. And I don't mean as it slowed down as in like, January, February, I lost 2 stone and then I've just, slowed down from then. I'm talking like the longer we put ourselves into a calorie deficit, the more we need that break, and your brain starts telling you subconsciously to take it. And this is where, I get some people that are like, I've lost 4 stone up until July. I've not lost anything since. And I'm like, right, well, when was the last time you had a weight loss break? Is it just a case of, how many of you crash and burn at work when you've gone too long a period without having annual leave? And weight loss is no different. Weight loss is no different. Anything you do on a day-to-day basis, you feel better after a break from it. You all love your kids to bits, but how nice is it that night you go to nan and granddad's, right? And you drop them off, or you might have a wedding and they come to the wedding, but then nan and granddad come and pick them up from the wedding at 6 o'clock, and then you can just let your hair down and you've not got to go and get them until 10 a.m. the next day. You love your kids to bits, but just that break overnight is like, we have it with the dogs. We absolutely love the dogs to pieces. We do, right? And they're our kids. But, sometimes in an afternoon, my mum lives 2 doors down. And sometimes in the afternoon, if I've got a podcast to record, so I just need a bit of peace and quiet, or I'm going to be out of the house for a few hours, I'll just ring my mum and say, Mum, can I chuck the dogs through the front door for a few hours? She's like, yeah, my mum loves seeing them, right? She's not able enough to have a dog 24/7. She's nearly 80, bless her. But, You know, as long as they've been walks and they've done the toilet, stuff like that, she'll have them for a few hours and she loves it. So I chuck them through the door. And it's just like that afternoon of not having to like sort the dogs out, hearing them bark, hearing it, you know, as soon as a leaf hits the house, like, it's like, shut up. You know, it's lovely. Sometimes we'll take it, you know, we'll yeah, we don't really do this, but Betty's can be a pain in the bum times. Blossom's just a breeze to look after. Betty can be a pain in the bum, but she's ace for my mum. I don't know what it is. I don't know if dogs can just sense that my mum's a bit more frail and a bit older, but my mum loves having her. And sometimes we did it on Tuesday night. I just said to my mum, I said, do you fancy having Betty overnight? Because Betty sleeps on the bed with us and she's flipping a bit possessive of the bed. So if you just touch her the wrong way, she'll have a little growl and she wants to sleep right in your legs, and it's just so it hurts your back at times. She's just so like, Mum, we have Betty overnight, yeah, and it's just like, oh, look at all this space about the bed. Whereas Blossom actually has a bed in the bedroom which she likes getting in, and then at about 5 in the morning she'll come and she'll just curl up right in between me and Rachel, like up near the pillow sort of thing, and she doesn't take up much room. But yeah, you know, we love the dogs to bits, but when you have a night of like not having Betty, it's just a. But then I want to go, and then but then the next day I'm like, right, I need to go and get Betty. Does that kind of make sense? So just things that you do on a day-to-day basis, it's just nice to have a break off. I'd be written off. Yeah, from what you've been telling me recently, Mr. Foster, I think you definitely would be, mate. So yeah, so we need a break. So you need those weight loss breaks, you know, and it's very hard to take them. And you know, I get a lot of clients when they first come on board with me that panic. They panic about it all the time. They're like, weight loss break, what's that? You're gonna, yeah, but I'll gain all my weight back. No, you won't. I won't get back into my journey if I have a break. Yeah, you will. Right? You might not get back into slimming world, or you might not get back into not eating carbs after a break because you realize how restricted the diet's been. But you know, why wouldn't you get back into eating pizza? Because if you want to have a pizza for your lunch today, you can have one on my plan. Right? I'm not talking a 2,000 calorie Domino's, but you know, yeah, I can't eat carbs, they make me fat. Nonsense. Right? I eat carbs every day, every meal. In fact, I don't think there's a meal where I don't eat some sort of, or very, very rare, I don't eat some sort of carbohydrates. Like I've had my yogurt bowl this morning, 150 grams of cherries, 150 grams of strawberries, carbohydrates, right? 25 grams of granola on top, carbohydrates, 10 grams of honey, carbohydrates, right? My lunch today, I said, don't know what I'm having for my lunch today. I genuinely don't. We're having a breakfast tonight. So last night I had honestly, I said to Rachel, I said, I don't know what I want. I really don't. I'm kind of feel like I'm going to be eating for the sake of eating. But obviously I wanted something. And we were meant to have a breakfast last night, and Rachel was like, do you know what I want? I went, what? She said, I want a bowl of your protein porridge for tea. So I was like, right. I said, well, I don't quite fancy that. I said, all right, I'll make you a bowl of protein porridge. I said, I'm just going to have, we had a punnet of mushrooms that I bought on Monday that needed eating. So I ate the whole punnet of mushrooms. Try this. If you like mushrooms, it was, honestly, they were amazing. They were so, so good. All right. I literally, no oil, no nothing. I put a whole punnet of closed cut, you know, just normal white mushrooms in the air fryer, and I air fried them for 20 minutes, right, on 200. After 10, I give them a shake, right? That was it. I didn't put any oil on them or anything. I just put them dry into the air fryer, air fried them for 10 minutes, right? And then tipped them onto my plate, salt, pepper, and 5 grams of Grana Padano cheese. I'm absolutely obsessed with that cheese at the moment. I only bought it because Aldi do it. They do Parmesan shavings, and this Grana Padano is, no, I'm pronouncing it wrong. Grana Padano, I think it is, grated. So I'm like, I would just want grated. If they did Parmesan grated, I'd buy that instead, maybe. But I got into this Grana Padano, and it's very similar to Parmesan. It's a bit more nuttier, I think. Not quite as, like Rachel calls Parmesan foot cheese, right? I don't think it's not quite as strong like thing as Parmesan. It's a bit nuttier. And I literally took 5 grams of that and just sprinkled it on the mushrooms. I just couldn't stop. They were like, and that, it was like, it in total calories was about 75 calories. That was it. And then I had 1 piece of toast with 3 scrambled eggs on top. So we were meant to have like a a lower calorie breakfast, which I'm actually going to do tonight instead. Which was I was going to have 2 chicken sausage, 4 bacon medallions, 2 dry fried eggs, half a tin of beans, 200 grams of mushrooms, 1 piece of toast. That was going to be my tea last night, and I'm having that tonight. So I had that last night, and then I sort of looked at my calories, and I still had like 600-700 calories left at about 8:30. I just fancied a bowl of cereal. I just had a bowl of cereal. It was so good. So good. Just a bowl. I love cereal. Absolutely love it. And I put it on my Instagram. I was like, why does cereal taste better at night time? Anyway, I don't know what to have for my lunch today, so I'm having breakfast tonight. I just told you 2 chicken sausage, 4 bacon medallions, 2 dry fried eggs. What is a dry? I call them dry fried eggs. They're not really dry fried. I take a very good non-stick frying pan, a drizzle of oil. So I'll do 3 eggs tonight, 2 for me, 1 for Rachel. And I'll use half a teaspoon of oil, which is 20 calories. So it's 6 calories per egg. Into the pan cold. And then just with my fingers, I just run it around the pan. So it just gives a very light coating. And then put the eggs in cold. Lid on the pan. And then just turn it onto a high heat. Right. As soon as the top starts like steaming up a little bit, turn it onto a low heat and leave them. And they don't really fry from the bottom because there's not enough oil. They sort of cook from the bottom, if that makes sense, but then they kind of poach on top because the lid creates a steam within the pan. So I just call them dry fried. I don't know why. That's just what I call them. Anyway, so yeah, 2 of them, half a tin of beans, a shed ton of mushrooms, which just amazing volume. I'm going to put a sprinkle of that cheese on even on my breakfast tonight because they were ace. And slice of toast. So that's tea. I've had my big yogurt bowl for breakfast. What am I going to have for lunch? Honestly, I've got no plans. I've got 6 half pizzas in the fridge. Watch this week's Worth the Calories. So I did my Worth the Calories on tour. Thank you to anyone that's watched that so far. It's not had many comments actually. Oh no, it's had a few. Oh no, it hasn't. It's not. It's had a good few views. So thank you to anyone that's watched the Worth the Calories on tour. I was in Nando's trying the Peri Mac wrap. It's my first Worth the Calories on tour. So I would have, if you've not seen it, I would appreciate you going and checking it out and having a little look. Next week, I'm planning Worth the Calories on tour. I'm planning on doing Spud Bros. Right, that's my plan for next week. So I'm going to go over to Preston. Has anyone been to Spud Bros at Preston? I know there was a massive hype about it. I'm hoping that's that. I am not going to have time to queue. So I know they always, and people only sing when they're winning. So they show queues and this, that, and the other. And they showed a queue the other week and it was half term. And of course, it's half term. It's going to be busy. Has anyone been to Spud Bros like on a Wednesday? Is there a time where I don't mind standing in a bit of a queue, like for 10, 15 minutes, but I'm not queuing for half an hour, 45 minutes. But I'm going to go to Spud Bros. I'm going to get their signature spud, which is jacket potato, garlic butter, cheese, beans, tuna, tram sauce, fried onions. I'm going to ask them, right? I know it won't be Spud Bros there because they've gone massive now, aren't they? And they're setting up all these different stores around the country. So I don't expect either of the Spud Bros to actually be there. But they'll probably tell me to piss off. But I'm going to take my scales. And I'm going to say, Aya, can you put the scales on the side? Right? They'll probably say no because there might be a contamination issue. And if they do say no, it's absolutely fine. I was going to say, every time you put an ingredient on, can you just read the number out? So I'm literally like, 0 the scales, right? When you put your potatoes in, just put it on and tell me what it is. And they'll be like, it's 400. Right. Now put the garlic butter on. What is it? It's 430, right? So now there's 30 grams of butter. Put the cheese on. What is it now? 630. Right. Now I know there's 200 grams of cheese. There won't be 200 grams of cheese. By the way, they wouldn't make any money if they put 200 grams of cheese on. But there's 100 grams of cheese, right? 100 grams of cheese, right? And then put your beans on. What is it now? 800. Right. So it's 300 grams of beans. Put your tuna on. What is it now? Right. It's 1,000. Right. So it's 200 grams of tuna mayo. I'm going to ask him. They'll probably tell me to piss off. But that's what I'm going to ask. If they don't do that, I think I've pretty much guesstimated what the calories are going to be in that spud. Because I've watched several videos of it. And I've watched it. If you look at them, they use like 2 scoops of cheese. right? And it's just a normal ladle thing. So I've took my normal ladle and I've put it on my scales and I've filled it full of cheese. And it's about 70, it's about 150 grams of cheese, actually. They use quite a lot of cheese, which is about 500 calories, right? The beans, again, 2 ladles of beans is around about 2/3 of a tin, right? So I reckon there's about 500 calories of cheese, about 300 calories of beans, that's 800 calories. I reckon they probably use melted butter. Melted butter goes a long way, right? It genuinely does. Very, very clever. So you watch Spudman, he has blocks of butter, right? And literally 1 pack of butter probably does. You melt that butter down and squirt it on, you are getting a lot of butter for, so I reckon there's 20 grams of butter, right? Now, 20 grams of butter is still going to be about 150 calories, yeah? Tuna, I reckon there's a full tin of tuna with some mayo in it, which will be about 300 calories. So where are we at now? 5, 3, 3, 1,200. Spud-wise, I'm going to say about 400 calories of spud. That's 300 grams, 300 calories. So I reckon the cheese, beans, tuna is going to be about 1,750 calories for 1 spud. All right, for 1 spud. I reckon it's calorie. And then you've got your tram sauce, which will be like a peri mayonnaise. And they don't put, it looks like they put a load on, but they don't. And then you've got your crispy onions. And again, they look like a lot, but they won't be. I reckon it's about 1,750 calories. Yeah. You know, so yeah. Now, it sounds a lot. It sounds a lot, but it is, listen to what I've just said there. 400 grams of potato, 300 grams of beans, 100 grams or so of cheese, right? We're already at 800 grams. Yeah. 200 grams of 150 grams of tuna, right? That's over 1,000. We're already up pretty much to a kilo of food, 2.2 pounds of food. That's sometimes a food challenge, right? So I'm expecting them to be big, right? And that's actually how I'm going to kind of, if they won't weigh out the ingredients, I'm just going to weigh the whole packet and then break it down from there. So as long as I know what the end weight is, you know, so I'll put that on. If it says 1.2 kilo, 1,000 grams or 1.2 grams, I go, right, I know there's 1,000 grams in there, and I've watched enough of their videos. Like the spuds are a pretty decent size and they use 1.5. So I'd say they use a 300 and a 150. So it's probably about 450 grams of spuds, Anyway, you'll find out next week. So, so I'm going to head over to, I couldn't even eat half of it and didn't have all those fillings. Oh, right. Oh, Regan's been. Have a good day, everyone. Need to go. Cheers, Liz. See you later. You're probably selling 1,500 calories just for jackets. Well, yeah, you probably are. But what I'm trying to say is they are massive. They are massive, right? There's enough. Don't get me wrong, I can polish one off in one. I won't be doing. I won't have the calories. But there's certainly enough for 2 people in one. And if they're 1,750, it's 800 calories a portion. So I don't think that's too bad. And that's probably what I'm going to eat. I'm probably going to eat half of it. Right? I'm probably going to cut it in half and eat half of it. And I'll take the other half. I might have the other half the next day, I've been on a weekday and queue was less than 10 minutes. Perfect. That's what I want. So, on Wednesdays, everything weight loss session at 12:30. Right? So it's the dinner time one. So I don't know what time they open. I don't know whether to go. I think I'm going to go to the gym at 10. I'm hoping they'll open at 11. Right? And I'm not going to have any breakfast. So I think I'm going to go to the gym at 10 and then finish at the gym and then shoot off up there after the gym. So aim to get there for I'm hoping they open at 11. Right? And get there just as they're opening or just after they've opened. And then get my jacket spud, eat it, review it, do the worth of calories bit, and then I'll fly home and I'll be back for 12:30. Anyway, leave it with me. Well, that's the plan for next week. Spud Bros versus Spud Man. There is no competition. And I don't mean one's better than the other. It's jacket potatoes. It's amazing how much people get hyped up. It's a jacket spud, right? It's literally like, McDonald's versus Burger King. They're just burgers. It doesn't need to be that deep. People love it. People get so I've seen so many things this week Like you do see, because I've talked about it recently, because I'm going to do it. And I know there's something with Spud Bros where they trademarked a name and then this other company. It's so embarrassing that people getting involved in the drama. We stick with this Spud person, dear. What, have you driven to it and spent money with him? How are you sticking with him? How are you supporting him? Have you sent him a tenner in post? No, I'm just siding with him. Right, okay. It's honestly, social media absolutely cracks me up at times. It really, really does. I was there at 11:20. Regan, that's it. I'm on it. Wednesday, 11:20. If I can be out of Preston for just after 12, I'll be back here for 12:30 for the Everything Weight Loss session. I know I'm not the best at timekeeping, but there we go. That's what we're going to be on. Anyway, we will go and work it out. Now, when we say Spudman versus Spud, there might be a time where I drive to Tamworth and see how many calories are in a Spudman Spud. I very much doubt it. But I did put this on my Instagram, and a few people have hit me up with a couple of places yesterday. Like I was like, Lancashire. Let me know any places that you think I should try Lancashire and tell you if it's worth the calories. It might just be your regular takeaway that you go to, and you never know how to calculate a doner kebab in there. Let me know. I'll go. Or any place you go, and it's like the burgers here are insane, or the thingies insane, or whatever. It could be anywhere. It could be a pub. It could be whatever. You know, it might just be anything you want. Let me know. And that's why I don't think I'll do one a week. I don't think I can afford it because it's traveling about spending. If the video's paid for it, maybe. But I am going to edit them. I am going to snippet them. Callum said this, snippet them. So the review for the Nando's is out now. I am going to snippet that down and stick it on TikTok and Reels as well. So I'm going to give it exclusive long form format to YouTube for a few days, and then we'll stick it on other social media platforms as well. Excuse me. Oh, windy pops. Right, I've got to go. I said I was going till about 10:30, and it's now 22. So yeah, I'm going. Guys, I'm out of here. Have a wonderful weekend, whatever you're doing. Remember, there are 7 days in a week, not 5. So whatever you're doing, Friday, tonight, Saturday, Sunday, stay tracking, stay accountable, stay consistent. Consistency is key. If you're a little bit over your ideal deficit, don't panic about it. As long as you don't go up to maintenance calories, you are always losing body fat. 2 start dates left from me. 17th of November, 24th of November, if you want to join my one-to-one plan. Anyone that signs up after the 20th, I think, of November, which is a week on Thursday, might be the 21st, you will start in 2026. Why? Because anyone that starts on plan, I want you to have at least 2 check-ins with me before the end of the year. So anyone that starts on the 24th of November, you'll do a check-in on the 5th of December, and then one on the 19th. And then 19th cut off, we're done. And then the next check-in from the 19th will be the 16th of Jan. And if your last check-in of the year, official check-in, is the 12th, your next check-in will be the 9th of January. But we'll talk about all that crew going forward, about how it all works over Christmas and then coming back in the new year. Right, I'm out of here. Have a great weekend. TikTok, I'll sign up to you first. I'll see you Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. And Facebook, YouTube, exactly the same. I'll be back 8:30 a.m. Monday morning. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.